So funny. Or we don't.
Yeah, why not? You can tell me what you were going to say anyway. There's no pressure. Crack those bubblies. And just, take a moment.
I was going to say that, our ZZ Top episode with Mike just came out today, which I really enjoyed. But it was nice to see. I got quite a lot of nice feedback about our episode with Travis.
That's
about
nice.
the Flying Burrito Brothers.
People like that band.
Yeah. I think people just like Travis, maybe.
Well, Travis is a very likable guy. Yeah. You think people like Travis, would he rank higher than the Flying Burrito Brothers on likability?
Yeah, just as far as our podcast is concerned.
Yeah.
Like if there's a scale of like just impossible way of life things that we'd rank, like Travis, Bubbly Water, the Flying Burrito Brothers, Tapas. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have to do an official list. I think he might rank above burritos because he's also contributed a ton of content.
It's true.
To like our Instagram, which people enjoy. And, I don't even know if people like Graham Parsons really, but I do know that they laugh at the things we post.
I don't even know what band Graham Parsons is in.
He's in his own band, man. He's in his own world.
Is he in Rock and Roll Heaven? He doesn't really get mentioned.
Well, he might have been until they burned his body in the desert. That's got a satanic energy.
Precludes you?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a Christian. What happens if you, like, is there something about, like, burning a body with gas that is, like, not...
It depends. If you ask Marley, like, he would say that, like, the Pope is Satan.
Right.
And, like, Jah is...
Tell
God.
me about Rastafarianism a little bit, because I don't really know too much about it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
It's like all religions, except they've got weed, which is kind of cool.
And so it's an easy sell to Westerners?
I think it's like, it feels like from the outside, at least. I was only Rasta from about the age of like 16 to 17.
Sure, well, we all were.
Yeah. So, other than from the outside now looking back, I just thought it was only about smoking weed.
And listening to
Reggae.
the Wailers.
Yeah. But I think also it's about like old world kind of... I think they're into like Leviticus and stuff, like women aren't clean when they're on their period, that kind of cool, kind of old stuff. And, women have to cover everything up. Men are allowed as many wives as possible. Really don't like gay people.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Right. Okay.
So, I don't know. It's about liberty, man. You know what I mean? I is I or whatever.
Movement
I and I.
of Jah people, yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
You know what's kind of funny
they're
is...
into like Paul the Apostle.
Okay.
That kind of thing. I like the food.
And smoking weed, like it gets you closer to God in some way.
Well, it's
right?
a sacrament.
Yeah.
Yeah, within Rastafarianism. Yeah. And, and so it's like the hat and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the
dreads.
Dreads. Well, that's how like you set yourself apart. I guess like hair's kind of a big thing in all religions.
It is interesting.
Like Orthodox Jewish women shave it off and wear wigs. Islamic people, ultra like kind of fundamentalist Islamic people cover it all up and stuff. Men get to do it's. I guess men in Jewish faith, they grow those in the Orthodox Hasids grow those like kind of stringy things and wear a cool hat. They have hats. I guess that they are the black Israelites, though, right? Like they're Israelites.
That's right.
The Rastas.
Yeah. Now we're starting to.
I think
purely through the music, I'm starting to understand it more because now I'm thinking about Desmond Decker and that.
Babylon's where we live.
Right.
Babylon's bad.
Babylon's bad.
It's bad. Babylon is like where white colonialism is taken.
Exactly.
And I think that like
I knew that
the state and the army and police are like agents of Babylon.
Sure.
So
when the Rolling Stones did the album Bridges to Babylon, they didn't really get it.
Well,
really?
they're kind of pagan sadist kind of guys. Like they probably did get it, but they also put out a Peter Tosh record, so it's kind of confusing.
Yeah,
and he's like the most roots Rasta guy of all. I mean, he had an M16 guitar. He was pro-Palestinian before it was cool.
Yeah,
when they were like killing Jewish people. I mean, it's all pretty. But he like was fine with the stones.
Remember in the Old Testament when Delilah cuts off Samson's hair?
For sure.
There's another hair thing, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's just like
power.
It's kind of like Rasta vibes are cool because they just like smoke weed about it, and also have the coolest guys seemingly on being like, yeah, this is like Marley's like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And like all this kind of cool music. It's kind of as if like if Keith Richards was like, you know, the way to be Christian is to be like, you know, is to party and like do drugs.
Well, for sure.
Stuff.
I mean, that's what I was saying. It's a pretty easy sell, like when they're just singing about, you know, dreadlock Rasta.
Yeah.
And then they look like pretty much.
They're having a good time.
In my whole life, they're the coolest looking motherfuckers I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, they're up there for sure.
I mean, just like, you know, you walk into a room and those guys are hanging out.
Yeah, they're
not
pretty
really
cool.
too sure what my angle would be as to like enter into the hang. You know, I'd be a little bit kind
just
of
break bread, man. You know what I mean? Talk about cricket or something.
Pass it, man.
Yeah,
pass it over,
yeah,
man.
Exactly. You'd get in the
and
smoke
I get
pit.
way too high.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. No, but yeah, no. I think that it's definitely an easy sell. Which is why a lot of people, interestingly, that's funny you mentioned about being kind of
well, it was kind of like at first I was into Che.
Yeah.
And then I switched it up for Marley.
Yeah, but I was thinking about like, you know, when you meet people now who are kind of this has happened to me a few times that they're sort of, you know, they're kind of a well-dressed kind of East Van hipster type, and with a nice haircut and everything, and then all of a sudden, like, you go over to their apartment and you see a photo of them in high school and they were like full-on dreads.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You know, I mean, all I'll say is this, that maybe you want to
keep going. No, it's all good.
I like it's like Johnny's got this really big one of the biggest I'm gonna finish it. Johnny's got one of these big kind of, what is it, like a parasol?
It's an umbrella. It's an
kind
outdoor.
of, it's gonna take off, this thing.
Yeah, it needs a little more weight on it.
I think so. There's no reason for me not.
Weight just needs to go here.
It needs to be distributed.
And then it'll stop it.
Yeah. There's no need to press pause.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I still, I mean, there's elements of, you know, my Rastafarianism that, like, you know,
that remain.
Yeah, like, I'm always a bit shook when people don't, you know, when people like light up a spliff before praying to Jah.
Right.
You know, to me that it's confusing and a bit triggering, you know.
Well,
you only light up the
was
spliff when the prayer
same.
Is completed.
I see. I didn't know. I thought it was kind of one and the same. That is the prayer.
Liberty, man. You know? Speaking of which, we should be cracking red stripes right now.
Aren't we?
Yeah, sure. Let's call these red stripes. Yeah. I'm worried about this thing, man.
I mean, it's a little windy. If one more sort of bad incident happens with it, I'll take it down and we'll pause.
I don't know if I can relax with it going.
Okay. All right.
I'll just let this run. I'll just keep talking and you just... So I'll give you a little play-by-play of what's going on. Johnny is now kind of mounting the parasol to try and take it down. It's coming down. I'm going to watch out for the beers. I mean, it's really taken off. This thing is... We are not in control of this parasol. Get it down quick. Heads will roll. A lot louder with it down, weirdly. And sunnier. The only reason we had this thing up in the first place is because I got sunburnt last time we were here. That's a death trap waiting to happen there, man. Anyway.
Over here.
Well, I'll do this one because it's about reggae in the sun, and then the next one.
Do you want some sunscreen?
No, I got sunscreen on. It was my legs that got burnt last time. It was, but it, you know, it's so late
in the fire, bro.
I don't think that's a good thing to do.
No.
I think it's like burning hell.
Right.
And I think that's where we're going, because we are the foot soldiers of Babylon. But anyway, before we get to that, I haven't seen you for a while. How are you?
Been doing really well.
What have you been doing?
Well, I guess I saw you last Wednesday or Thursday or something like that.
You had a friend in town?
Yeah, I had Andy, friend of the pod, here for a couple of days.
Yeah, you left me a couple of voice messages, really long voice messages of you two driving around in a car, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pocket dialed you? Yeah. Yeah, it was really lovely to have him here. And we also had Alex's sister, Emma, friend of the pod, who's now gone as well.
Back to England.
Back to London. She leaves today.
To finish her reggae record?
Yeah. She needs to go there to do some bluesy overdubs on it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you do.
That's what you do in London.
We made a reggae record here, but like she figured she has to go back there and kind of like get that
finished off.
That English sound.
Well, yeah. Chris Blackwell, I think, is the architect of that sound.
But no. Very special to have both of them over, and that was it. And then just catching back up on things here.
Catching a fire back up on things?
I didn't do very much, over the weekend. Just hung out. How about you?
I went to pick up a car in Ashcroft. For you, map savvy people, you can check that out. It's kind of in the desert, and went there, and then I stayed in a place called Penticton. Well, actually, kind of on Scarha Lake at this resort called God's Mountain.
Wow!
It kind of had like a Mediterranean feel.
Yeah.
And I stayed there for a couple of days, but man, the forest fires are bad up there.
Yeah.
And it was very apocalyptic driving home, on the Coca-Cola, on the main road back. Like, the fires were just on the side of the highway.
It's insane.
Planes flying over, helicopters that deployed, the military's out there.
A lot of them people start...
catching a fire.
People take a blowtorch out there and just fucking light it up?
Just because, of the power, the rush?
I guess. I want to know. I don't know why, and I don't think there's really any kind of way you can justify that one. But
do people do that?
Yeah. My buddy Hambone...
He does it?
He fought the fires.
Yeah.
The really bad ones a few years ago.
Yeah.
He said they caught a guy on the side of the road with a fucking blowtorch, dude. They had to tackle him.
No way.
Yeah. I think they just think, it's kind of like, I don't know, burn it down.
Yeah. Burn it. Let him be.
People's houses or
burn it down. Well, I mean, that's maybe Peter Tosh should be into that vibe. He was kind of, not Marley, but Tosh might be into a kind of just burn it all down.
Like people's farms and stuff like that? I don't know.
Well, they Rastas like fresh food. Ital food.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a living energy entity thing. Liberty or
animals?
No, don't eat animals, I don't think. Maybe
do they
some.
like animals?
As friends?
Yeah.
I don't know, because like I said, I just thought it was about weed, but I think it probably, yeah. I think in Kaya, Marley's kind of pastoral.
Right.
By that point, he's not political
player,
anymore.
Wasn't he? Footballer?
He liked playing football, yeah. He used to go for a run, I think, before. I do this too. He always went for a run or played a game of football before he did his vocals.
Yeah, Rob Butterfield told me.
Yeah.
He gave me...
Great blues name.
Yeah, he gave me a little
He'd have been more on the overdub side of Catch a Fire.
Yeah, it's true. He told me that's a good way to kind of get pumped before a vocal take. Run around the block, do a few push-ups.
Yeah. What do you think,
opens up the old airways.
Well, yeah, I mean...
especially if you smoke as much as Bob did. It would probably help to...
Yeah, but he's smoking to get closer to Jah. It's not
Yeah, but he's still got to sing. He's still human.
He sounded good.
Oh, he sounds great.
What do you think Jagger did for vocal warm-ups? A line?
I've seen it off a big knife. They put out... It was crazy, dude. They put out a Stones documentary. I think it was called, Gimme Shelter, because they can't come up with any original names for these things. But
that's why there's maybe not going to be number 2 for very much longer.
Yeah. I'll tell you, right now, I put the Wailers above them in my world. My current summer vibe.
They'd rank higher than the Stones in summer world?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Summer music, listening, 100%. But no, it was called Gimme Shelter. And I think
I've heard of that song.
It was just about, a tour, a U.S. tour I don't know, 72 U.S. tour.
Set the scene.
But it opens up. It's just them backstage, just stretching and doing all their thing. And then Jagger picks up, right on camera, picks up a big, like, hunting knife and just digs it into a huge bag of blow and just does 2 massive bumps and then just heads right out to just start ripping Jumpin' Jack Flash or whatever. It's crazy, dude.
I'm more of a strongbow with a whiskey in it.
What do they call that, a Boilermaker?
Nah, I don't think
That's
it's got a
more
name. A
down in the
strong
south.
drink.
You know, Dan Calusi sent me a playlist. You're going to love this, dude. I'm going to put it up for the patrons right now.
Do it.
But all he said was, thank me later.
Okay.
It's called Riverboat Fantasy.
Yeah.
It's all like David Wilcox, George Thorogood, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Kim Mitchell. It's all like kind of white bar blues.
So similar to Catch a Fire by Bob Marley.
Not at all, but I mean maybe in the overdubbing.
Yeah.
It is. The guys are all the interviews in the Catch a Fire classic albums, TM, Impossible Way of Life classic albums,
hybrid
TM.
kind of verses, I think you say. It's like classic albums times Impossible Way of Life.
Right. I'm not too
TikTok edition.
I watched it today, and all the overdub people are really cool. It's like, I got sent. All the guys are like American.
Yeah, of course.
They're like, I got sent this music, and I grew up gospel, blues, R&B, country, and all I know, it just sounded backwards to me. The guy's like, but then they're all like so stoked they got to play on it. You could tell.
Wayne Perkins.
Yeah, he was one of the dudes.
Such a, he's in a band called like Smith, Perkins, and Smith.
Sweet.
That's pretty cool. Sandwiched in the middle between two brothers, the Smith brothers.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's so cool though that like them talking about how Bob Marley taught them how to play reggae, like because they were just like, they're very humble in that way. They're like, I was just doing this, like just like holding down a chord, and Bob's like, no, you gotta slap it.
Why was Bob there?
Bob, okay, so I didn't know this.
I didn't think he was there.
I always thought
I thought they just nicked the multi-track and...
No, so apparently he went to London with the tapes to do all the overdubbing and like produce them or whatever with Blackwell.
Yeah.
And he was a big part of it. And they were trying to make the palette more easy for American and British listeners, which I get why they did it, but it's kind of funny when you listen to...
You can hear the overdubs. It's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, and when you listen to them talk about it now, though, the producers, you could tell there's like that sort of pain behind their eyes that they know that it's not as good.
As the original Catch a Fire?
Yeah. Well, no, the guy's like, he says, in my opinion, the tracks we were sent were... They were quite good, but it just didn't suit the marketplace at that time.
Yeah.
But then they like put on High Tide and Low Tide, and it like starts playing. And it's so beautiful. Didn't make the record.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm hearing this now, and it's good. Yeah, it's good. You can tell he's just like, fuck. What the fuck was I thinking? Because. Here's my kind of backstory.
What's your backstory on this?
So here's my backstory with this record. Okay, I knew Stirred Up, the blues version, I call it.
Yeah.
What like wah wah Clapton blues version?
Well, yeah, that's like, is that the version with the 3? Oh no, on Concrete Jungle, I read that there's a 3-octave feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
Solo.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I heard it all the time on the radio as a kid.
Is that a Peter Tosh song?
Concrete Jungle?
Yeah. Or Stir It Up?
No, neither. He did Stop That Train, which is one of the best.
Kind of a bluesy title.
He could only get like 1 or 2 on the album, George Harrison style.
Yeah.
But he's kind of the George of the group a little bit.
Yeah,
well,
I suppose so. He's political.
Yeah. Kind of the cool one, No, but anyway, so then...
He died from a home invasion, too, similar to George Harrison.
Really? Didn't know that.
Well, George didn't die, but...
No, I know about George, but Peter Tosh?
Oh, dude, it's brutal.
Oh, no.
Yeah, in the early 80s, it was like he was like tortured and like in a home invasion in Jamaica with like people that... And then like, I guess he was there. These people broke into his house that like knew him, like, because he'd like apparently... like they were ex-felons that he tried to get work, help out. They broke into his place and wanted money, and he didn't have any, but they didn't believe him, and they held him at gunpoint and were kind of torturing him to extract like where the money is. But people kept showing up at his house, like friends to hang out. So then they'd show up and be in this like torture room, like, and be like, okay, no, like they'd come in and there'd be gunmen there. And in the end, I guess the gunmen just got so annoyed that they just like shot everyone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's horrible.
Well, he was there's definitely, if you normally I do extensive research into my some people would say conspiracy theories. To me, they're fact. But given his military, given his stance on all things political, and they've never released the names of two of the people who were in jail for the murders. I wonder if there's something that we'll have to get to the bottom of there.
And is that at all related to Bob Marley's shooting? No.
No, I don't think so.
Who shot him?
Eric Clapton.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Frankly speaking. What was he doing I Shot the Sheriff?
I have no idea. It's not right.
It's demented. Anyway, you were talking about...
What I was saying is then they put out as they do, a deluxe reissue CD.
Yeah, CD.
Of Catch a Fire that had disc 1, the album, and disc 2, the Jamaican versions, which was the raw recordings they did.
Yeah.
And I put that on, and it was so fucking good. Like, it was so much better, and it's all I listened to. And I really always wondered...
Through your Rasta period?
Yeah, that was more just sort of like when I got into wearing kind of like baggier pants, and I didn't go full.
Do you ever have like
tennis shoes and
the colors? Did you ever wear like the colors, like the kind of Ethiopian?
Maybe
flag
individually,
colors?
But not as a
tricolor kind of thing.
No.
Did you ever have one of them hats?
No.
Spliffs? Were you into spliffs?
You mean like mixing it with tobacco?
Yeah.
No.
You ever say like wagwan or anything like that?
No.
No, nothing like that. Irie? You ever said Irie?
No.
One Love.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I'm into that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Definitely.
Okay. Jah Bless?
No.
No. That's about it, yeah.
A lot of people
how does Bob
would
Marley
be
like his donuts?
Yeah, I like to say like yeah, man. You know what I mean? I always thought it was a bit dorky, kind of.
Yeah.
Or like
you certainly can't say that shit anymore.
No,
it's code switching.
I know.
Yeah.
I've never said it.
I've never said it. Never would. How does Bob Marley like his donuts?
How?
With jamming. Right.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Frankly.
I like that line in Kinky Reggae where he says, as kinky can be. I love those songs where it's almost like he thought like kinky was a cool word, but like maybe didn't know exactly what it meant.
Okay.
And just like threw it in a song.
Well, you were telling me earlier, I don't know we're doing Catch a Fire, but you were telling me earlier about an infamous Lester Bangs review of Kaya.
Yeah. It was one of my favorites. I had that book of his with all his reviews.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I gave it to Aunt Jeannie as a gift. But I remember flipping through one day and finding that one and reading it, and it was really, really good. Have you got it there?
I got it. There's not much I can say on it because, again, like you'd get cancelled for most of the things that he says in it now. But he talks about Rastaman Vibration being the worst album Bob Marley ever made until this one, Kaya.
Right.
But I was looking at because I know Kaya quite well. And I was listening to Catch a Fire earlier, and then I thought, well,
Kaya's got One Love.
Let me see what songs are on Kaya here. And I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking I'm a Kaya guy. Easy Skankin off the top.
Uh-huh.
Is This Love?
Good one.
Sun is Shining. Misty Morning. There's some good stuff.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Well, I think that if you're talking...
It's pastoral, right? I guess that Lester's issue with it is that he wants political Bob and doesn't want the Bob that's like just easy skanking.
Yeah. Well, I also think, maybe pastoral, but I like... when I talk about Catch a Fire, I talk about the Jamaican one.
Sure, yeah.
I like that it's like Jamaican soul music.
Okay.
Like that's what it sounds like to me, like R&B.
Kind of like a Stax energy.
Definitely, or even like a kind of a, like a Percy Sledge kind of drifters, platters, but then I don't know, that kind of stuff, and just slowed down and beautiful and smooth.
Well, like there's the reason for that, right?
What? Oh yeah.
You know that.
Why was that?
Well, no. Do you want to tell?
Right.
Like,
Everybody knows this, right?
Yeah.
That like actually it was because in reggae or like in Jamaica, they were getting all the R&B stations,
right,
from the United States, right, from USA.
Yeah.
And actually, it was because like the radio signal wasn't a clean signal, So it was like
because it's a third world country.
Yeah, because it was like. But, like, it was sort of, like, consistently not coming in clean.
Yeah.
So, like, there'd be guitars playing, but because it was cutting out, it sounded like, tick-it, tick-it.
Right.
And that's where they got reggae music from. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
like, they were just hearing James Brown doing it on the 1 and the 3.
Yeah.
But it was, like, delayed.
Nice.
So then it was the...
And if you keep on delaying...
What a joke.
There's just no way that's true.
Of course not.
No.
They had the music.
Yeah, that's such a classic style of take.
That's a classic.
Yeah, try that one out at the bar.
That's like my Jim Morrison did it at the Holiday Inn on the way to the airport, did the L.A. woman vocal story.
Yeah, it's a good one. Well,
he was on the toilet, to be fair.
Yeah, you can hear it flushing.
There's footage of it.
Yeah.
Him sitting in there.
Woo! In his underwear. Well, it suggests here in the Rolling Stone review of Catch a Fire that the Wailers are a group from Jamaica who have been influenced as much by white rock and roll and country and western as the Encino aristocrats have been influenced by the blues. So I guess or whoever wrote this is making the distinction, or not the distinction, the juxtaposition that as much as... I guess even though he's talking about like L.A. aristocrats, he's meaning kind of like the Claptons of the world, I guess.
Right.
How blues has been sort of inauthenticated by white people and something came out of it. And in the same way, Bob Marley has been influenced by country and western and American music. And rock and roll, and that has kind of influenced him and created this kind of fusion genre, which isn't quite reggae, It's kind of something.
I don't know. I think that they were probably like 90% listening to R&B from the United States.
Maybe. But Catch a Fire has got some strict blues players on it.
Oh, for sure. But that was Island Records.
Yeah, but it wasn't known at the time, was it? None of these people were credited.
Yeah,
it was it was all assumed that it was like the Wailers playing, like Tosh. Everyone thought it was Peter Tosh playing all those parts.
I guess they wanted white people to buy the records.
Yeah, but they didn't mention that Wayne Perkins was on the record. Sure. It was all a secret. He wasn't credited until years later. So I guess that, and similarly in terms of marketing or branding, it's this is reggae, but you've never heard it before.
Right.
This is like fusion reggae, and there's rock and roll influences in it.
Yeah, well, there was a ton. Obviously, I mean, it's no secret that there was a ton of racism to do. In England and in the States, people weren't really into it. They were showing that footage of. By the way, they're showing footage of London in 1972.
Yeah.
And all the amazing. Did you watch that series Small Axe that came out last year?
No.
It's all about the the Caribbean population in London.
Notting Hill.
Yeah, that stuff and the parties and the restaurants and just it's amazing, man. It's just and the record shops and music was just so big, but it took them a long time to get it, to the point that
it wasn't
it was acceptable.
It wasn't just something that was niche or enjoyed by skinheads.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Or the people that originated from those countries.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Marley, man, he broke the bloody doors off, didn't he?
Old Grey Whistle Test. And then obviously bands like The Clash and stuff like that, kind of celebrating it.
Stuff, yeah. That whole kind of movement, which we'll probably should do at some point.
The Police, I guess. Like,
yeah, definitely the Police. Yeah, Sting, dude.
But like,
it's actually funny because
watering it down for people. Because like,
I mean, you could or drying it out.
I just mean there must have been people who like listened to, don't stand so close to me, and then we're like, oh, I'll get into reggae after this.
Like kind of like you could get into the Beatles through the Chemical Brothers or something.
Sure,
maybe.
I don't know. But I just mean,
I think that Bob Marley is probably bigger than Sting.
Well, of course he is now. He's the biggest.
I think he probably was like in the 80s when he died in 82, didn't he? Like,
I bet you that in the like, and I don't know, okay, but that in the mid to late 70s, he was still not like a mainstream artist in England to the level of like some of those other bands were. Like, I think his career took a long time to really...
It was really Legend that kicked it off?
100%.
Yeah.
He didn't have any number one hits during this time. None in the world. It all came, like, a lot of that stuff came with, like, it was kind of
Well,
like,
Rolling Stones' top Bob Marley record on their top 500 albums of all time is not Catch a Fire, it's Legend.
Wow, I mean, it might be his best album.
It's pretty good.
But it is like one of the best-selling albums of all time, Legend, but none of his songs go anywhere near like other hits of the era.
Yeah.
Like none of them. So that's
Sorry,
what I mean.
Just going to have to interrupt you there, Johnny. Breaking news.
Okay.
Message from Luke. All Things Must Pass 50th Anniversary Super Deluxe Edition released on Spotify.
Wow.
So we're probably going to have to do...
Have you seen the package?
No.
You haven't seen it?
Is it demented?
I almost like I need to save it and talk about it on Sunday's episode because it's... those listeners have seen it, know how insane it is. I don't know... let's just say I'm not too sure how they ship it to you.
Really?
It's that kind of size.
Oh, really?
Comes in a fucking crate, dude.
A crate.
And it's made from, like, aged wined wood or something.
Crosby's going to be pissed off because his idea for the box set was to have
completely
cedar
been
box.
trumped.
Yeah.
This one is built with, I think, like, wood from George's house.
Oh, wow.
And that's been soaked in his blood or something.
It's normal stuff, then.
No, but what I was going to say is that without a doubt, what I'm saying is Marley's legacy is ever growing, know, to the point...
Kind of like Che's.
Very similar. To the point that I would say, now, this is a bold statement. Tell me what you think about this. I've been all over the world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I would say that in every country around the world, that Bob Marley is universally the biggest musical artist of all time.
He's the most well-recognizable face.
The most beloved.
Kind of a one love because everyone just peace.
You go to any city in, certain, like, especially in Europe, like in Italy, and you're going to find like a Bob Marley themed bar with like a bunch of kind of Italian Rasta guys.
Well, I have a plug-in. A dub plug. It's called the Albrosi Dub Station, VST. I use it a lot actually on vocals, kind of for like that kind of, the MC that they always have in dub songs who's shouting stuff in the background.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe. And it's actually an Italian Rasta.
Nice.
Who has moved to Jamaica as ball of tubby stuff, and he kind of made it. And he's whiter than me, I'm going to say, but you wouldn't know based on the way he's living his life.
Wow.
But it's one love, baby. You know what I mean?
The message, is, as they say in this classic albums TM / Impossible Way of Life hybrid documentary, Tosh says, it was one message. It was all for one for all. It was all of us.
Yeah.
One love, one heart, the whole world.
Let's
everything.
Get together and feel all right.
That's what it is. And you know what I mean? Like, keep it simple. People respond to it like that. Beatles, obviously the only other one
it's kind of a bit like
Beatles.
Ringo.
Yeah, it's true. Ringo's kind of
Yeah.
Carrying on more of a Bob Marley message than a Beatles message
Peace and love.
in many ways.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Beatles would be the only other one who would kind of compete with this like universally loved thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it, you go to, you go hang out in like...
The Stones, though, maybe. Kind of that like a hard rock kind of vibe.
Yeah. I mean...
Like the Lips, not even the Stones, just the Lips, the icon of the Lips.
Yeah.
It's kind of up there with Marley.
But I tell you, you just feel it in the air. You walk around places, you hear Bob's songs. Coming on.
Well, especially we live on the beach, man.
Well, that's it.
It's crazy down there.
If it's near the water, Marley is king.
Yeah.
Like when
you can get like sometimes I go to the Circle K and get, a Monster energy drink. A massive one, before I do this podcast, as you know.
Uh-huh.
And I drink it here. And I get so fucked up. I get so, like, stressed out. But I need to be on edge. Like, I need to be at that threshold to be able to do these podcasts.
Right.
And then often what we do is we then, after we've done the Wednesday episode, we take a minute and do a second episode.
Yeah.
And I like to get a Marley's Mellow Mood THC drink, which is they have next to the Monster Energy drinks in the Circle K, and I hit that kick back. Everything's
Sunday,
everything's kind of on the 2 and the 4. It's a different vibe,
You
and
do kind of start moving
differently.
There's no music playing, but I notice you kind of start swaying like to the 2 and the 4 a little bit,
and that's normally on Sundays episodes. Yeah,
pretty much exclusively, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, I like
which a lot of people might not have heard if they're not patrons, so...
Yeah. So if you want to hear, like, the reggae... So basically, think of it like this. Wednesdays are the blues Catch a Fire version.
Wait, is this one Sunday or
This
Wednesday?
is a Wednesday.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, really.
I guess so.
Should we make this one a Wednesday? Let's make this one a Wednesday based on that bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a lot of, a lot of people... kind of know who listen, the aficionados, that Sundays are more of a kind of original Jamaican Catch a Fire, and Wednesday episodes are kind of like the bluesier one.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. It's like, well, we're trying to get people to listen on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So we have to
kind of clean it up.
Add a little bit of blues.
Yeah.
Add a little bit of the stuff that you're used to hearing on podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Talking about energy drinks, that kind of shit.
Sponsors.
Yeah. Sponsors. So we don't even have any, but, we just do that because that's what
we
people
want
hear.
sponsors.
And then...
Well, we just want people to feel a sense of familiarity.
Yeah, but then Sunday is really when, you're a fly on the wall. You're basically standing right next
in the studio.
Yeah.
You're next to Bunny Wailer.
Yeah. You're next to... I was going to say the bass player's name, and the greatest.
What, Sly and Robbie?
No.
They're the greatest.
God. No, he's the best.
What about Sly and Robbie? Aren't they the best rhythm section of all time?
I think that the bass player in the Wailers...
Derek Smalls.
No, he's got such a cool name. Not...
I
this
don't
is
know,
so
man.
embarrassing.
This isn't what our... Listen, this isn't what our podcast is.
No, I know, but I just wanted to say it.
Cool stories in rock.
Aston Barrett.
It's a cool name. Sounds like a car.
Family Man. That's his nickname.
Like, because he had 300 children?
Could be.
Yeah,
Could be.
Several wives.
I know a lot of bass players, like jazz and
level.
stuff.
Jazz level.
For real.
Look up to him. Him and Jamerson.
Say that he's kind of the top. Like,
he's
any
ranked.
genre. Yeah. Like
can we pull up a best bassist?
As power, sound.
Raw power?
Yeah.
Fingers?
Yeah, he's a finger guy.
Do you think that Catch a Fire, based on your Beatles kind of reference with Marley, is then the Please Please Me of reggae?
I would actually say more like... that's interesting. No, I would...
Because it kicked the fucking doors off.
No, I would say that is more Desmond Decker, Israelites, 1967, because that was a massive hit in America, too.
Okay.
That was the first, which is my favorite, although technically it's more ska than reggae.
Good to know.
But that's my favorite.
Well, I know, because
that's my favorite reggae ska record. It's perfect to me. Do you know Desmond Decker and Bob Marley grew up working in the same steel factory?
I can believe that.
And they would just sing together all day while they were working. So cool.
Where's Delroy Wilson for you? I've got the top 50 bass players of all time up here. I'm just going to go straight
I was going to say, though, that I think Catch a Fire is more like the Rubber Soul.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, let's just get... I'm in the top... if he's not in the top 5, he's not in the top 10.
All-time bass players?
Yeah.
Well, look, he's not going to be there, but I'm just saying what I've heard from jazz-level players.
Okay, let's see if he's in the top 20.
He should be, dude. Those bass lines are insane on this album.
Duff McKagan.
This is another thing, like how Joey Ramone's better than Ry Cooder.
Yeah, well, apparently he is.
Duff McKagan is better than Aston Barrett?
I mean, Phil Lesh is better than Duff McKagan, but in the top... He's not in the top 20.
Lesh might be...
He's 11.
Aston Barrett?
No, he's 11 Lesh.
Oh, Lesh. Well,
Danko is 30.
He's good.
I've heard of him. Come on now.
He's probably not even on the list, dude. Is this Rolling Stone?
Of course it is. Okay.
Don't know.
Number 28, Aston Family Man Barrett.
Sick.
As half of the rhythm section for Bob Marley's Wailers. Also, actually, before we do that, can we just... I've been saying there's a massive rivalry between Marley and Peter Tosh.
Right.
Massive rivalry. Because Peter Tosh stayed sort of true, to his roots sort of roots rock reggae, right? Mm-hmm. It's a reggae music.
They were like brothers, though, too.
Yeah. But like, okay, so how about that? Bob Marley and the Wailers. It's like Mick Jagger having a band and calling it the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
He kept the band name. That'd piss you off.
I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, it's even Bob Marley and the Wailers on Catch a Fire, though.
Yeah, I know, but prior...
I know, it's weird. It's weird. It is weird. Well, they said in this documentary, I don't know what all that was, but we knew ourselves as the Wailers.
Check this out. This is good. This is some good writing.
Yeah.
Aston Barrett and his younger brother Carlton played a primary role as the architects of reggae.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
28.
If the bass is not right, the music is going to have a bad back, so it would be crippled.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Cool. Well, yeah.
Who's better than him on this list?
We got
27.
David Hood. He's like a Stax guy, isn't he? I think he's like kind of done staple singers and all. I think a lot of like I don't really know actually, but we got this guy.
Donald Duck Dunn. He'll be in the top 10.
Israel Cachao Lopez. Sounds like someone you'd know. He's an Afro-Cuban salsa, kind of Cuban jazz guy.
Right on.
Muy authentico.
Right on.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going here. Cliff Burton's at 25.
Okay.
Metallica? Didn't he only play about 2 records? Geddy Lee, 24, so he's better.
Fuck off.
Wyman, 23. Would be higher if it took into account his...
right.
His...
Yeah, they had to dock him a few points there.
For having a 14-year-old wife.
Yeah.
Flea, 22. That's pretty low, I think. I would have expected him to be a bit higher.
I want to crack at the top 10, but tell me the rest.
Geezer Butler, 21. Good. He's just for style alone.
For his lyrics alone.
Style, I think. Like he plays with his finger really high up the fretboard. Danko, 20.
Mm-hmm.
Style, again, unique.
Yep.
Verdin White, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah, I guess he's probably awesome.
Chris Squire, don't care, from Yes. How's he getting? He's paying someone to get in there.
Because of that one bass line from Roundabout.
That's it. Okay, Robbie Shakespeare, so he's the top reggae guy, I guess.
Okay.
Charlie Haddon, who is Ornette Coleman.
That's
stuff.
Right, Charlie Hatton. Yeah.
Donald Duck Brown. He's coming in at 15, coming in hot. John Paul Jones at 14.
Interesting. He was going to be in the top 10 for me.
Stanley Clarke at 13, jazzy, right?
Uh-huh.
So interesting. That should give you a... If they're putting him there, the other jazz guy who played in that scene is gonna be Willie Dixon, number 12. I think that's like Bo Diddley and stuff. Phil Lesh, the only one to have his own stadium zone, is at 11. Okay, so top 10. It's
Okay.
There's some weird shit. I'm gonna look through it here.
Yeah, look through it, and then I'll try to.
Okay, let's try and do the.
Let's get some out of the way.
Welcome to the ranking podcast, Impossible Way of Life. This is just what we do now.
We know Paul's on there.
Paul's
100%.
on there, yeah. Paul's there, but he's at. Do you want me to tell you where he is?
Sure.
9.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't gonna say top 5 necessarily.
I don't think you'll get more than 5 of these.
Okay, James Jamerson.
He's number 1.
Number 1, yeah.
He has to be.
Charles Mingus.
Hang on. Mingus is 2.
Okay. Let me think here. Yeah, you're right. I might not get that many. Who's the guy from The Who? Entwistle.
Oh, yeah, nice. Number 3, actually.
Okay, wait.
Okay, I'll give you one clue.
Donald Duck Dunn was already on the list, right? From Stax.
Who's my favorite bass player? I own a Mutron pedal. I'm always messing around. I can't sound like him. I'd like to know how you sound more like him.
I don't know. I'm blank. John McVie?
No, that's cool.
Is he on there?
I mean, I don't know if he is, but I would have put him in. No, he's not here.
No.
Okay, Bootsy Collins.
Fuck. Yeah. Okay. I can't think of him.
Okay, well, I'll give you...
Give me a few more.
Well, okay. This is going to annoy you, but it's always a Jack Bruce.
So stupid.
Yeah. Carol Kay, dude.
Oh!
You're going to have I know, you're going to have a bad night tonight.
Yeah.
No, this is bad. Larry Graham. So that's kind of Sly and stuff, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I think he was in Sly.
Carol Kay, yeah.
And then Pistorius, dude.
Yeah.
Jacko.
I got Mingus. I forgot about
You
Jacko.
got the top 3. Sorry,
and Paul.
I'm not sure about Entwistle being 3.
It's horrible.
Horrible. That's just because of the bit he does in My Generation.
I mean, it's Rolling Stone, so
yeah.
Although I do think he's kind of the best player in the group.
Yeah, but it's just a boom, boom, boom. It's just for that bit.
Yeah.
None of these people have
Number
ever actually
3?
listened to music.
He's 3?
He's 3. He's in front of Bootsy.
That's really stupid.
Bootsy was literally in a hot air balloon at the time.
Who was the guy who played in James Brown's band before Bootsy? He's insane.
I don't know, man.
But he'll probably be like 40 or something. 28 for Aston Barrett. I'll take it.
Yeah, Family Man.
Wonder
why he was called that.
Jazz. I
Cats.
know people at that level.
Heavy Cats.
They've journeyed to see him perform, even now, even like later in life.
Interesting. Got a couple of facts.
Power. The low end.
Low end theory.
Just that low end.
Well, low
power.
end theory. That's another guy. That's Ron Carter.
Right.
Low end theory.
Yeah.
Okay. What about this? So
Who's the guy you try to play like?
Bootsy, man.
Yeah.
I can't do it, but I have, I just like he's the best one.
You need to take more LSD, I think,
you need
before
to think you're an
show.
alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, his vibe was cool, because, they're just... Bob Marley and Peter Tosh are fighting the good fight, against Babylon, and, talking about going back to, Haile Selassie. It must have been tough when Haile Selassie died, because he wasn't meant to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he died in the 70s, and he was I think he was just murdered by in a coup.
Yeah.
And they kind of thought he was God. So I think that must have been tough to take. They actually saw the resurrection die.
I'm sure.
It sounds like they were smoking a lot of weed. To me.
You know what Bob Marley's last words were, man? Money can't buy life.
Nice. Just say, man. Just think about it.
Just think about it, man.
Think about it. Hey, take a toke on this to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Well, this
true,
Marley's mellow mood CBD THC
I just took
drink.
a sip, bro.
Yeah. Dude.
What do you want to talk about, man?
What do they call it? Like a gathering? Gathering. I think we need a gathering.
Seance.
No, it's not. That's pagan. It's is he? I think he's
right.
He's Pilgrim.
This.
Bob Marley's Pilgrim.
Yeah. But
he's going east,
I
not
think
west.
there's some pirate energy.
Well, that's just because of the dreadlocks.
The word dread
Well, it's Johnny Depp has made dreadlocks pirate.
Right. Yeah, they kind of dress a bit like pirates, a little bit.
No, Johnny Depp just has dreads in the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, and
Does he?
Yeah, of course he does. So now that's confused you, and this is his whole plan. He's going to get all of these things confused. Well, Keith Richards, pirate, kind of has a similar kind of... I mean, they're from an island. They were taken to the island originally from Israel on ships.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk of that in the music.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Like, they talk a lot about ships.
About the slave trade.
And they sort of, the rude boys, they kind of seem kind of like bandits a little bit in the songs sometimes. Okay. A lot of the early stuff. Yeah. The kind of 60s.
Okay. Yeah.
The rude boy train is coming now.
Trains are kind of dandy highwaymen. That's kind of piratey.
That's kind of what I mean. Yeah. They're like they're bandits on. They've got and they're like coming into your town.
Fabric.
Coming into your town.
Okay.
But I always wondered, this is my ignorance for sure.
Yeah.
But I always wondered...
Because that's funny, because I know so. Because everything I'm saying is 100% true.
I'd love to know this, because I've often thought in a lot of those Desmond Dekker songs, because the version of English that he's speaking...
the patois.
Yeah, in his accent, it's hard to kind of know exactly. So when he's saying that stuff, the rude boy train is coming now, jibby jibby woo. It's like, I often wondered if they idolized the rude boys. Right. Like if the rude boys were kind of like...
You asking me what the rude boys are?
Yeah, like what are they? Or if they were like guys who would come to their town and like
kind of
rob
cowboy
them.
style.
Yeah, and they were afraid of them. You know what I mean? Like revolutionaries or... like militant people who would come into the town and terrorize,
Well, Google says a rude boy is a lawless urban youth who likes ska and reggae, though.
Exactly. So they consider
the
themselves
rude boys.
So when he's saying that, he's like, it's kind of like,
they're kind of a dandy highwayman crew.
It's cool. It's like they're street thugs who are cool, like kind of a in a sort of, I guess in America it's kind of like more of a kind of in New York like a Dion the Wanderer, greasers.
Okay.
That kind of
like
thing.
A teddy boy?
Yeah, exactly. Teddy boys.
Okay. Or maybe a James Dean.
Exactly. That kind of thing. So, to me, there's a pirate kind of energy to that in that they're kind of like
I see.
Bandits.
But at the same time,
looters.
Certainly, okay. Kaya, though, by that point, it's like very much just pilgrim energy.
That's pure pilgrim. Yeah,
just
by
like
that point.
All I'm doing is making my land good to grow my weed.
100%.
Like, back to the land. Like, this has been a good summer. I'll have like 6 years worth of weed now. And I've got loads of kids. Everything's good. Easy skanking.
Marley took it from the kind of rude boy sound in there with Israelites and the Ethiopians and
sure.
The
Toots and the Maytals.
Yeah, Toots. Okay, Toots has definitely got like a pirate kind of energy
because just the name. I mean, it can be as simple as that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Hard to say.
I guess they're at some point going to have to take a boat to get back to Africa.
Yeah,
as well.
But yeah, Marley kind of he turned it a bit pilgrim, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I just think based on the kind of the whole Rastafarian world view, it's extremely pilgrim. The music,
yeah,
it's
definitely.
about one love, man, and like I, and you kind of. And probably like those words relate to like kind of, you got to get back to the land, and they only eat food that's organic and fresh
100%.
And stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you.
I wish we could go get like a nice ital roti right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen in this city.
No.
There's that place out in Port Moody, Renada's. That's the only place.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, it's really good. It's full on. I would drive out there right now.
Yeah.
Wash
I've
it down.
gotten that kind of food in Portland before.
Yeah, or in Toronto, of course, or Montreal, easy.
But Portland, it's more like no. Actually, it was pretty. It was pretty authentic. It wasn't like a kind of.
I mean, Toronto is amazing.
I bet
it's one of the.
Way more of like a reggae vibe in Toronto.
Toronto has
here.
a kind of reggae vibe for sure.
Way more than here, for sure.
Well, this place has more of a kind of. Well, the problem
it's closer to the water.
Yeah, but
like more of a kind of like Buffalo Soldier playing out of like a cocktail bar.
Yeah. Well, the issue with Bob Marley, as well as being, and reggae music in general, is as good as it is, it has influenced some of the worst music of all time.
100%.
So, like, the Beatles can't claim to have done that.
No.
Because most post-Marley reggae is 100% clown.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, though, there's nothing worse than
a West Coast reggae band,
than like a kind
Sublime, post-Sublime, Bedouin sound
mouth
clash.
Kind of like, you know, a bunch of like dudes drinking Monster Energy drink and playing reggae.
Yeah. When I first moved here, I didn't know anyone.
I went like Santa Cruz.
Oh, yeah, but that's also mixing with, like, the Show and Shine chili cook-off energy, too.
Like how ska became a new genre?
Well, it's men who dress like toddlers, where there was, like, big, long, baggy shorts.
Yeah.
You know?
Because, like, okay, let me ask you this. Okay. Because ska was a genre in Kingston,
in
and Jamaica.
Then it was rebooted.
And then it was rebooted. It was okay. Like the specials and stuff were also ska, right?
Yeah.
But
like
then
two-tone.
Again, then ska all of a sudden was the mighty, mighty Boston.
Yeah, Rocket from the Crypt and stuff like that.
And then
that is just ska, apparently.
I know that's what, if you look, like that's what ska is.
Yeah, is the mighty.
It's not like Desmond Decker and these guys.
No, it's interesting. So when does dub happen?
That's later, I think, because like you had ska, and then which is mostly just means it's a little bit up tempo with a horn section.
Okay, it's horned up.
Yeah, and then you had Rocksteady.
Okay,
which
is nothing to do with the Turtles.
No,
that's not to do with Bebop and Rocksteady. Like kind of partial lineage. Actually.
Yeah. And then
why were they the only ones named after music in the Turtles?
I think in the characters they're like cool guys. They're like,
but aren't they the bad guys?
Yeah, but
they're rude boys.
Yeah, they are. They have like boom boxes and they're like into music.
Yeah.
Well, they are Shredder, like the Foot Clan. They are like kind of rude boys.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, but who's Krang? Oh, it's the producer.
And there's guys like that, like in Japan too, right? Like where it sort of originated the comic. No.
I'm probably
I would
say so. But Chris Blackwell is Krang.
Like old
the
samurai
producer.
movies. There's always like the Japanese rude boy type guys too.
Oh,
who, like come into the town.
The Yakuza.
Yeah, or like they're just like even in the ones that are more like old westerns, like Yojimbo.
Okay.
Like they come into the town and they just kind of like they're like all like drinking. Like they go in the bar and just
black
smash
dice.
everything and drink all the booze, and then they're like, we're gonna take everything we want. And
kind of like a James Dean American kind of energy.
Yeah,
because like
West
Okinawa.
Side Story.
Yeah, very, very much so. Okay, well that's cool. You know, Chris Blackwell. A couple of things to say about him. The producer of Catch a Fire.
Well, he preferred to think of himself more as a translator.
Oh, really?
For Bob.
Yeah. He is heir to the Schmucker's Jam fortune. His first band he discovered was the Spencer Davis Group, featuring Steve Winwood.
At 16, little Stevie Winwood.
Yeah. It's apparently he, not Bob Marley or Desmond Decker, is the man most responsible for turning the world onto reggae music. The single person most responsible for reggae music. This is what his own Wikipedia says. But more interestingly, a little kind of slice of life fun fact about him. He's long owned GoldenEye, which is the house that Ian Fleming wrote all of the James Bond books in Jamaica. And until his death, Ian Fleming was actually dating Blackwell's mother, Blanche Schmuckers, or whatever her name is. So this guy is kind of colonial to the tits.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Living in the big mansion.
Overlooking the slums, and it's called GoldenEye, and his mom dated Ian Fleming, who wrote all the Bond stuff.
Wow. And lays claim to reggae.
Yeah.
Oof.
Seedy.
Brutal.
That feels like a Babylonian kind of energy.
Yeah, well, he ruined the fucking record, so.
Yeah. You know, it's...
and he knows it, too. I saw it in his eyes.
Yeah?
I saw it in his eyes.
Yeah. It's dark.
He knows what he's done.
Well, if this one's a Wednesday one, then thanks for listening to Impossible Way of Life. If you like what you hear, go onto our Patreon. I think it's patreon.com/An Impossible Way of Life. And
/ classic albums.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, we're riding high. There's like 50 extra episodes over there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, they're better than the Wednesday ones.
I think so.
At this point, we're phoning in the Wednesday ones. Or just relying on guests.
Well, hey, it's summertime, buddy. And the weather is fine.
It is.
I got Mungo fever.
Yeah? Mungo Mania.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do something on that.
I mean, I could talk about that for about a day. That's the number 3 biggest song of all time.
Okay. Well, I'll speak to you soon, and everyone have a nice rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.